The band's not all back together, but damn, it feels good, bro. It feels good. Last night on TNT on Tuesday Night Hoops, we had the Philadelphia 76ers visiting the Garden, the playoff against the New York Knicks. Man, let me tell you something. I understand the circumstances involving the Philadelphia 76ers, but under 80 points of offense. It's just an overall below average shooting night for Tyrese Maxey. And I expect more because I do like some of the players. They have a fit lineup of efficient playmaking shooters. And the inefficiency that was coming up, man, had to come off Mohamed Bamba. 2 straight turnovers, can barely dribble out of transition, bro. Who's backdoor cutting. He's a 7-foot prospect, and he's still playing like it's his rookie year. It's embarrassing, bro. 79 points over to 106. That's going to track the Philadelphia 76ers now 2 games below the New York Knicks to stay above play-in contention. The only person that was actually efficient all game was coming from Kelly Oubre Jr. that outscored Tyrese Maxey in a higher efficiency, especially how he was shooting around the wing. The only thing they were matching was around a 3-point percentage, going 3 of 6, both 50% from behind the arc. But besides that, Oubre was aggressive off plays, attacking around the basket, trying to help off the double. And Paul Reed was putting up while Mohamed Bamba only played 16 minutes. So they were primarily pushing over a small ball 5. And Mohamed Bamba was only 2 of 3. And most of the time he was just trips to the rim. In my opinion, if you're going to be the bare minimum of a 5 that can't contribute offensively, at least get more boards than you do points. You had 5 points, 1 block, 2 rebounds. Kyle Lowry was trying to compensate over his 3 ball, but he was just incredibly slow. Like first, second, third quarter was just Knicks basketball all around. It was garbage time because we were putting Jericho Sims to play the final 5 minutes of the game. But look at this: 1 for 2, 1 for 2, 0 for 3 is Buddy Hield. 0 for 3 for Buddy Hield and Nicholas Batum. Efficient floor spacing players. They are good players, but it just feels like with a lack of motion and nobody to trail out for second chance baskets if nobody's picking up the slack. And OG Anunoby was just recovering. He played just out of his mind while he was sitting out over the 26 minutes he had over in the rim and was stealing the ball. Good over, I think he was more efficient around the first half from behind the arc. He had 2 open corner threes over the contest, but I feel like he was dragging whenever he was stuck. DiVincenzo was hot. He took his shots. Josh Hart only made 1 3 outside over the perimeter. But when it came to crashing over the glass and bullying from over coast to coast, a good steal over to the ball, and he just rammed it into the rim. And Precious Achiuwa, outstanding. When he was crashing around the glass and those lob attempts, Miles McBride somehow was just getting those shots on. I'm sorry. The shot selection was absolutely crazy. He was shooting above Buddy Hield, leaning over for his tippy toes behind the line, and just made that shit. I don't know how he did that. He was incredible. The way he was shooting shots. Bogdanovic, less of a scoring night. It feels like he was just spacing over to the floor. And that easy kick out, amazing ball movement where it was back to Bogdanovic, over to Hart, contest over to DiVincenzo. Knicks have been possibly the best defensive unit in the NBA. And this was with Brunson not even contributing much. It just felt like just great team basketball. And this is just a back-to-back. Outstanding performance by the Knicks. They played like they had something to prove with just a recovering Precious Achiuwa, a recovering OG Anunoby. And when he was healthy, we were trailing over with the hottest winning streak in the NBA around January, where we can get teams to barely put up 115 points a game. The minimal, we got like 6 out of our last 7, allowing under 100 points of points off the offensive side of the ball. We kind of sagged off when we started having injury hiccups, of course, with Isaiah Hartenstein. We missed Julius Randle still. That's possibly going to come out early, mid-March or late March. to be prepared for playoffs. So his recovery is pretty essential because I feel like that offensive firepower could come in handy and just pressing over on transition, shot blocking and heading over to the rim. That good baseline cut. It felt like the defense for the Sixers was just falling asleep. And this is coming out of a guy that was coached under Nick Nurse back when he was on the Toronto Raptors. So he knows the team. He knows where they're going to hand that over to the ball. He pickpocketed Buddy Hield over on transition. Got a great steal and it ended up to a two-handed jam. And I just wasn't watching the game anymore when they hit 96 points because they only scored 98. That makes, the third straight game? 3 out of our last 2, we've allowed only over 75 points of offense. That's it. Nobody has scored over 90. We pimp slacked the Magic after a disgusting showing where we lost like 118 to 100 in a close contested game around the third, but then the Magic just trailed with it, and Caleb Houston was just cooking the team, and then Brunson just came cooking them back. And then a closely contested game, and we had control, but we were just undisciplined. And then as soon as OG comes back, it just feels like we were just linked. We played good contest. We were good off transition. Josh Hart was everywhere you needed him to be. DiVincenzo was shooting over the clip, and as soon as we were missing key pieces, DiVincenzo tried to be all you can need offensively and still push over defensively. But his shot, if you guys seen his field goal percentage, a guy can hit like 9 of 21. It's a crazy shot radius. He can push over as a all around spot up shooter and still be there to defend like 1 to 3. So it's insane, and they're great off help defense. I saw that majority of time. Second chance buckets that Kelly Oubre was trying to contest. It was insane how they were just rigorously stopping anybody from getting second chance buckets on the team. Especially Paul Reed. I think he got blocked twice off Precious Achiuwa. It came over to a two-handed jam, and they called like their third to last timeout. And Nick Nurse just had to put KJ Martin in. So the game was over, to be honest. We were seeing KJ Martin, Mohamed Bamba, and, of course, Jericho Sims. No offense to Jericho Sims, but I feel like he needs to evolve this game a bit. Not G League-wise, but I thought they were in the right direction, getting a guy like Taj Gibson that can teach a guy how to, a young center, to develop crash over the boards. He can evolve his offense than just being a playmaking pick and roll, because there's going to be guys that are going to squash him up, because, of course, NBA players are more built physically, so they can just stop the athletic types from just taking it over to the rim, unless you're Derrick Jones Jr., that even though you're a lob threat, there's a lot more that he could do. You can see how the Mavs play whenever they're on fire, like you saw against the Dallas Mavericks. So, great game by the Knicks. We have still a couple games. So we're over 60 games ahead, but now the Knicks are still over in the playoff conversation. After the Knicks were kind of trickling around the 6th seed, but winning 2 of their last 3 and trying to pick up over the momentum after losing a majority player. OG Anunoby is a major key piece to why the Knicks were even successful. They grew over to that momentum into a 9-point winning streak until that got crashed, until the injury crisis happened. So getting him back is a big save. And Julius Randle, for those bigger game moments when there's more than one superstar on the team that the Knicks can play, can be outstanding. And knowing there's only so much of the season to go, knowing that we have nearly under a month, Blazers, Kings, Warriors, Nuggets, and we destroyed the Nuggets before, kept it close against the Warriors in a 4-game West Coast road trip. It's going to be essential if we can pick up until we get another final 4-game road trip against the Chicago Bulls, Celtics, and Milwaukee Bucks to try to see if we could traverse the Survivor Stars until our 2-game homestand against Eastern Conference competition. So I feel like the road trips are really essential to prove our durability, especially with OG coming back. So there's possibly going to be some safer rotational issues. The Knicks could possibly get a 47-win season or 48-win season with this roster if Tibbs plays his cards right and everybody just remains consistent. Hell, if they can keep the momentum and trail over to at least an over 5-game winning streak, 50 wins could possibly be in our margin, because overall I feel like this Knicks roster has been the best I've seen since the Melo era, when they had David Lee, Amari Stoudemire, of course, J.R. Smith, Iman Shumpert, Carmelo Anthony, uh, Tyson Chandler, just depth all around. Defensively can cover you and can make important shots when they need to, and almost anybody is willing to guard at any position. So I always built that over Tibbs, that this is possibly the best roster he's ever constructed since his time in Chicago. So hopefully we can just play our cards right, because I really have the Knicks possibly not being a title contender, but another deep playoff run could be in their future. Knowing the track record, the majority of the Eastern Conference is a bit crazier than in the first half of the season with the Milwaukee Bucks. So they have not been as good as how they were in the first half of the season, where they had chemistry and defensive issues, but they were still a top contender offensively wise. But knowing Giannis's production, and now Doc Rivers is the head coach, I think their chances gotten up. The Celtics have been looking like the best team in the NBA, and the Sixers are still missing Joel Embiid. Cavaliers been looking hot, but that's because of the places that the Bucks and the Sixers are on right now. They're still a good team, don't get me wrong, but we possibly didn't know what's going to happen to the Cavaliers when they have to play a 7-game series, knowing that Donovan Mitchell still got to beat the primary option, even though I don't feel like, in my opinion, he's still a key major guy to give the rock to when it comes to big games, like we saw when he was on Utah. And then we got the Miami Heat that possibly have the biggest chip on their shoulder, knowing that they've made the most NBA Finals appearances over the last 5 seasons than majority of the top seeding teams, with a rookie that looks like he's already been in his 5th season as a contributing piece. Terry Rozier slow, not having a good transition in the Heat culture, but Bam Adebayo still an All NBA talent, and Jimmy Butler can still get there when he needs to be, in great depth with a great head coach. So we got to watch out still for the Miami Heat, and the Knicks. I would love to see the Heat and Knicks series again, possibly for the conference finals. That's my prediction in general, because I feel like the Milwaukee Bucks are in the dead zone unless they fire Doc Rivers. That's it for me. Thanks for watching the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'm possibly going to get future content, but that's going to be probably on the community tab, because it's hard to upload NFL free agency video when there's a bunch of moves happening all over the hour. So I might be late on something, or I'm missing out on this something, or I might do a live reaction late night. I don't know. I think around the free agency line will decline around tonight, Wednesday night, here on the 13th. But yeah, the crazy off season. Thanks for watching, guys.